Hello, and welcome to another installment of the DomJake podcast. I'm your host, Dominic.
And I'm Jake.
All right, everybody, it's time to get your appetites ready as we discuss the magical world of fast food and the battles the popular chains have partaken over the years.
I can't wait to slaughter your beef.
I'll pretend I don't have any images in my head. We'll be talking about stuff from, the Whopper versus Big Mac to the whole chicken sandwich craze of the present day. And let's not forget the whole pizza wars that happened in the late 20th century.
Yeah.
Yep, so prior to this recording, we did some research.
Little tiny baby research.
Yeah, and plus, most of it I know from the top of my head from not living through the 20th century stuff, but based on seeing some of the stuff I've watched, even not even thinking about this episode, I have memorized certain information. But I'm going to talk about, right now I'm going to be talking about Burger King versus McDonald's. So get out the forks and knives as we dive into this topic.
I'm ready.
Okay, so let's go all the way back to 1957. Burger King, has been well established for a while. They introduced one of their very iconic menu items, as you had to have known, as there's been also iterations of this throughout the years. It's called the Whopper. Have you heard of that?
Is it those chocolate chewy candies that are covered? Is it like those malt balls that are like covered in chocolate that you get on Halloween that everybody always like pushes aside to last?
Silly Jake. Nope, you're wrong, but
Shit.
however, some of the ingredients in the Whopper are the same color as chocolate. And that is where the burger is. It's on a sesame seed bun. There's lettuce, tomato, onions, and like the mayo. But unlike most burgers, this one's got no cheese. Exactly how I want it.
What? How can a cheeseburger have no cheese?
I don't know. Guess there's those folks that either don't like cheese or are allergic to dairy.
I mean, like a lot of people are allergic to it, but we just suffer through it on the toilet for a little bit. It's worth it.
Yeah, if it's on one of those nights, then yeah, destroy it. So yes, in 1957, they introduced their iconic Whopper. It sold well, but then McDonald's recognized that, and then in 1971, they decided to make their own spin on it called the Quarter Pounder with cheese, which, obviously, as the name kind of explains, it's a quarter-pound beef patty. But unlike the Whopper, this one actually does have cheese as the default ingredient, unless you request for no cheese. And just like with the Whopper, you can request cheese on it.
What the frick? What kind of hullabaloo is this?
Well, you can ask all the folks at Burger King and McDonald's. And then there's this burger chain that hasn't existed for 27 years as of this recording.
No,
It's a chain called Burger Chef.
we've lost one. No,
Yeah.
no.
Well, it's a yes.
Burger Chef, you will be missed. Even though I'm not old enough to have had you.
Yep. He's already. Oh yeah. He's may rest in peace. He's in the grill in the sky.
Rest in grease.
Yes, rest in grease, indeed. Yes, they had a burger called the Big Chef. All these burgers had a nickname called the Whopper Stopper, but nobody's going to be stoppering the Whopper. Let's go back a couple of years. McDonald's did have this other flagship item called the Big Mac, which there were no intentions on the Whopper and the Big Mac ever being in a war, but they actually have.
Just
But
how things happened, huh?
however, Burger King, I mean, I don't think a lot of people know this, but Burger King does have a burger in response to the Big Mac called the Big King. Comment down below if you've heard of it, but
No, I have not.
I actually haven't either till I actually did a little research. But yes, there was a. Apparently, it's probably a secret menu item to my knowledge, but I might have to order it next time I go. But that is their version of the Big Mac. But however, people have had a big war between the Whopper and the Big Mac, even though they're two separate items. Just like it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, because okay, do you have any statistics as to how, and I'm not talking about cost, I'm saying like what amount of beef was used in one versus the other? Is it both like a quarter pounder slab, or is it like
Um,
how much?
well, I'll tell you what. At least today's Big Mac burgers. I don't know how they were back in 1968, but
True.
a lot of the beef patties for the Big Mac are a lot smaller than the Whopper. Because
So it would be considerable of a difference. You'd be able to tell.
yes, you would be able to.
How about the current prices of both of them?
Well, the Big Mac used to be 75 cents. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong about the Whopper, but I think it was 37 cents. I'd have to look that up again, but I'll tell you what, inflation has really made it just a few dollars more, but it's still not, at least it's not in the double digits.
Even so, if the Whopper is still on the cheaper side, then I might be curious into seeing the percentage of, Whoppers versus Big Macs ordered in a year. If there's even that comparison, I don't know if that exists, but that would be an interesting pie chart to just
Yeah,
see that.
maybe, yeah. But I think they did sell a lot during that time, and even today, they're still one of the most popular menu items. Unlike McDonald's, although they've done this one year, Burger King did have iterations of the Whopper, and I think there is one iteration of it today called the Whopper Junior, which I'm assuming is going to be the same type of patty. It's like the Burger King equivalent to the McDonald's patties, where they're like smaller. But however, McDonald's did do like the Mac Junior and then the Grand Mac, if you remember that.
I don't remember ordering any of them because, well, let's just say I wasn't really that big on the burger scene. A fast food land, anyway.
This is like one of those top dogs. Although we don't really mention a lot of the other stuff like Wendy's. They're kind of, yeah. I mean, they're still popular, but it's kind of like the third most popular like burger chain. But yes, Burger King seems to have that flame broiled emphasis that people really like.
I mean, if
Um,
anything, it's worth saying that as since you basically just said something, it is worth saying that just because it's not the number one or number two does not mean that it is a valid favorite, I guess, that someone can have. It's just,
everybody
I guess
does
it's
have their
just
own takes.
its overall popularity might not be the thing that motivates you to go to a certain place. You might like the 500th place, the
I mean,
500th ranked place or whatever, and more power to you with that one.
definitely people definitely have their own preferences too. So
Because I mean, definitely, like my favorite burger place, if we're going to talk about like a fast food sort of situation, is Five Guys. I know it's expensive, but that's just
I was literally just thinking about that too. I was like, is he gonna
it's
say
great.
Five Guys?
I like Five
I
Guys.
I really like it too. I do. I like Five Guys.
It's just unfortunate that that place is an expensive one.
It's
It,
expensive,
it's
but the
more so than
quality
the other stuff. Yeah.
the quality is actually really good. They also have the emphasis of they don't use a lot of technology as and they don't use a lot of timers as they want to focus on the quality. Their burgers, yep, they use fresh meat. The fries they just use like a potato cutter, unlike the popular chains that are just frozen. But even like the tomatoes, all the vegetables, they chop them up in house.
And I know you're not the one to focus on this aspect, but I like how they melt the cheese on the patties.
And
You don't focus on that. I know that, but
I'm
it
sure.
is more of a mouthfeel than just
I believe you.
like a half of an orange slice of American, I guess maybe American byproduct, because I don't even think it's real American cheese.
Well, if they're using Kraft singles, then yeah, that'd be a concern.
Because like a lot of the McDonald's ones, and this is not to throw shade because Kraft singles can taste nice on a patty, definitely, but there's something about how the Five Guys, whatever they use, because it's so melty anyway, I can't really tell, but there was something about just having it be cohesive like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something where you could just see that, oh my god, it's just a square of cheese or it's just half of a square that barely
Mm-hmm.
melted. It's like I like something about it being unified, you know?
I see. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like it's in. I mean, it probably looks cool too. Uh, yes.
If only looking
But
at cheese didn't make you vomit, right?
well, as well, there is another popular item that has cheese on it, and I guess most people don't consider it fast food because there's no drive-through in most of these places, but it's still part of that category since it's a chain, which you can get delivered or pick it up or eat inside, and that item is called pizza.
All right, is this time? Is this my moment?
This you're right on the spot. You got all the dough.
Around 1 to 2 weeks ago, Don gave me the task of researching, let's just say, these gluten sheets of bread that are covered with tomatoey sauces sprinkled with fermented cow milk and heated in an oven for 5 minutes, and then it's mamma mia, buongiorno, right? Amazing,
Yeah,
amazing pizza pie, right? Mon
yeah.
amour, hey, right? Um, so I was very stoked to do this part. So I did some research of my own on the Great Pizza Delivery Wars. So around the 80s and 90s, the Great Delivery Wars were a dynamic chapter of the history of fast food. Even if you consider it not a fast food, it's still, like you said, can be ordered online, can be done ahead of time, can be all of these things, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the 80s and 90s come around. It's not the 50s and 60s anymore.
Nope. Yep. People have phones. They can call up the place and here you go.
Phones with antennas the size of a clock tower, right?
Yeah.
Just, it takes 5 hours just to extend all of your antenna, and then it's like you're on the phone, and then like you swing your head and you're decapitating like 500 people, right? But
Mm-hmm.
regardless, it was definitely a dynamic chapter in the history of fast food industry, with the major players like Domino's, Pizza Hut, Papa John's, vying for dominance. One of the defining features of this era was the aggressive marketing strategies employed by these chains to win over the customers.
Yeah. There was definitely quite. They're really aggressive with it, indeed.
It definitely was. I mean, back, I would say before the 80s and 90s. So I guess I could say, you know, previously,
Mm-hmm.
in the grand scheme of things, pizza has been around for a long, long time. Definitely has not been invented in America, as a lot of Americans like to say. Right? It's definitely an
Mm-hmm.
older thing that has roots in, honestly, a lot of older cultures around the world. It's not just an American thing that was invented within the last 100 years. There have been, you know, unrisen yeasted doughs that there have been flatbreads that have been covered in vegetables and cheeses since, I would like to say, since maybe the ancient Egyptians.
Maybe.
I'm, of course, this is just going off of like a podcast that I listened to like a year ago, but I think, I mean, at the very least, I could definitely guarantee that it is not within 100 years that it was ever invented, right? It's older. There have been roots in Greece, there have been roots in Sicily, Italy. There have been even iterations in France too. But I believe like the first iteration was like a Middle Eastern civilization from long, long ago. Of course, could be a little bit misinformed on that one, but yeah. So someone decided, hey, we already know what pizzas are. Let's see if we can market them to this revolutionary era of capitalism. And maybe we
Mm-hmm.
can embark on a journey to start delivering them, maybe. So Domino's, under the leadership of CEO Tom Monahan, pioneered the concept of guaranteed delivery times. The famous 30 minutes sorts free guarantee was a double edged sword, though. It attracted customers with a promise of quick service, but it also led to concerns about driver safety. Incidents of accidents and reckless driving prompted Domino's to eventually abandon the Bolt promotion in the late 1990s. So, for a good decade there were
Yep.
some good old, teenagers got the red lights just so then you can get a hot slice, right? Hot and red.
Yeah. Well, I think it's worth slicing someone's head off just for that hot slice of pizza.
Vroom, vroom, right? I mean, hey,
There.
you gotta blast through the red lights in order to give the red sauce to someone, right? Yeah.
Yep. Yep. That's something that happened in 1989 regarding an accident of a Domino's driver. That
Sure, it's not just one, but that could have been the one that maybe stopped this whole thing. But
it.
I'm
The
sure
yeah.
there have been a lot more accidents involving pizza delivery
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And
Domino's. Yep. They're not the first. I mean, yes, Domino's kind of did dominate the whole pizza industry, but there's also other chains out there too.
definitely, Pizza Hut, not to be outdone, focused on the product innovation. In 1995, they launched the iconic stuffed crust pizza. You heard of this one?
Yes, I have.
It's a game changer. It set them apart from the other competitors. However, the only thing is, I don't think you would touch it.
Yeah, you already know that.
Now, um, if you know what stuffed crust pizza is, it's basically pizza with a cheesy surprise in the crust, and it really resonated with some customers and contributed significantly to Pizza Hut's sales during that period.
Cheesy surprise, huh?
Just the idea that you can get to the end of the slice, finish all the toppings, and then, oh my god, it's a stuffed bread crust. It's amazing, you know?
Oh yeah, a cheesy surprise, huh?
If anything, it'd be the same sort of thing as like if someone managed to wrap up some sauce in the crust area, right? So then whenever ate the whole slice pretty much except for the crust, then you start doing that and then, not cheese, but like maybe some sauce spills out of
Mm-hmm.
it too as well, or maybe
Oh,
pepperoni or sausage if you did that.
as long as it's not, as long as it's not piping hot, it doesn't give a first degree burn on your hand.
Oh, that's true too. That's true too. We don't need to get into lawsuits about hot stuff.
Yes,
Yeah.
we. I mean, McDonald's already had that with their coffee.
We can talk about that at a later point.
Yes, we can, but
Papa John's took a different approach, emphasizing the quality of its ingredients. The founder, John, fuck, is that Schnatter?
just I
I'm
well
gonna
just
say
pronounce it.
Schnatter.
Just pronounce it how you am right now. But
I'm gonna say that.
Schneider, yeah, perfect.
The founder, John Schnatter, used better ingredients, better pizza, and I mean today we'll even say better football, right? Peyton Manning's
Yeah,
on those commercials too,
yeah,
as the company's slogan. This commitment to higher quality really resonated with customers who were willing to pay a premium for what was perceived as a superior pizza experience.
yeah. We do. I mean, we do have a local Papa John's, and they have that. They still use that slogan to this day.
I think I've only
And
been to that one once, maybe ever.
it's a very, it's a very small place, but there's still seats to sit down in. It's not bad.
No, yeah,
But
I mean, like I've been to the subway that's like close by to that, like more than. I
mm,
just think our family, our family is more of a local or homemade than a chain. But
yeah, well,
there's
yep,
definitely history in the chains, though, and some
yeah.
interesting battles
They
that happen.
they start out well. A lot of these chains start out as, say, the local chain or not as the local restaurant down the street. Sometimes that's how it starts.
Right. Well, like, I believe pretty much every single fast food that exists started as the one thing, and then it got success in another building, and then another group of buildings, and then suddenly they're on every corner of every driveway, even.
I mean, I'm still an advocate for the mom and pop restaurants though too.
Like, yeah,
They're
you gotta, because like they care more about
they
the
do
people than they care about the, you know,
like the
expediting
profits.
expediting the profit. Yeah, the profit stuff. It's they'll keep their margins down just so then they could earn more, right? No,
Yeah,
the mom and pops are like, hey, we care about you, give you extra stuff.
yeah. It's definitely I definitely like
To kind of go on a mom and pop tangent, and I could go very fast with this. There's a Chinese place, let's just say over a bridge, that we used to go to because it was very close to my, I should say, late grandmother's area, right? So every time we visited, we'd be like, hey, let's get some Chinese food, to the point where every single week or whatever we were there, so they knew us. And there was also like a familiar connection too, because I believe someone knew someone from our family and was like, right, right, you look like the same white person that I know.
yeah, yeah.
Regardless, there was a point when it was my birthday, right? So, hey, this was probably maybe like at this point 15 years, maybe exactly ago, or something like that. Uh,
Mm.
Funny. But there was a point when they gave us, or I guess me, since it was like my birthday, a whole box, and this was a big box of fortune cookies, just as like a birthday gift.
Is it just like literally just the box that gets delivered to their like restaurant?
Like, I kid you not, that this box was like, I would say 3 feet wide and maybe just under 3 feet, close to around 3 by 3, maybe 2 by 2. I was young, so everything looked big, right? But we had a whole lot of fortune
Fortune
cookies
cookies.
that honestly ended up going stale and bad because we had a lot of them and we barely touched any of them because there were a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, tangent aside, um, the mom and pop shops are one of those places where they will hook you up if they know you, right?
Yep. That's how they are.
Because like you can ask like the owner of a place if you're an employee of that place, right? You can ask them, be like, "Hey, I know this group that's over here. Can I get them a free sundae?" And then like a mom and pop shop would be like, "Yeah, go ahead." But if you're to ask a manager at like a Wendy's or something, "Can this person eat for free?" Are you kidding me? No, you're fired.
Yep.
Regardless, the back to the pizza stuff. The competition extended beyond just pizza, though. And the competition extended beyond just pizza quality and delivery speed. There were also price wars that were commonplace, with each chain trying to outdo the others with special deals, discounts, and combo offers. This pricing strategy was aimed at not only retaining existing customers, but also to lure new ones in who are undecided or possibly swayed by promotional offers.
Yep.
Like, I mean, this isn't really only the case with pizza, right? You've seen it in the burger joints as well, right?
Yep. They really get you.
There was a promotional thing that I forget the chain, I don't remember the place, but it might have even been like a war between a mom and pop and a big chain where it was like, um, this show this will show our international listeners, if they exist, how stupid us Americans can be. But
Yeah.
there was there was one where it was like um, place A was selling a burger, like a quarter pounder, a 1/4 pounder. To combat that, place B goes ahead and says, you know what? 1/3 pounder. You and I know that a quarter is less than a third, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone else. They were
Yeah.
saying 1/4. Well, 4 is bigger. Let's go to 4.
That's what they thought.
They thought 1/4 was bigger than 1/3. So they still went to the place that gave them less for the same amount of money, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Only like the smart Americans were like, you know what? That's great.
Yeah. Perfect. Thing involving, as time goes on, just like these pizza places and just like all the fast food chains, there's also technological advances. If you want to get into that.
I can. You took two of the words out of my mouth. Technological advancements also played a crucial role during this period. The introduction of computerized order systems streamlined the ordering process, making it tons of more efficient. This era saw the rise of the toll-free hotline for ordering, eliminating barriers for customers to place their pizza orders. Ring, ring, ring. Hello, I'd like to order a pizza.
Type of pizza. Well, yeah, that's toll free.
Um, is your refrigerator running, actually?
Reward.
You better catch it!
Ah, you
Click.
got me.
The
But
number of dialed is not in service anymore. Okay, whatever.
all right.
But
But
definitely
yes.
there was a time when the phone number was introduced. It was introduced to
Mhm.
this sort of thing, which gave another rise to the delivery sort of game, right? You could
Yeah.
call somebody and be like, "Oh, dang, come here in 20 minutes." There we go. It's done and fresh for you.
Mhm.
Perfect timing. You walk
Yeah.
through the door and it's hot.
Just like how I do want my pizza.
Roof of your mouth.
Yes. That's how exactly I meant.
Exactly.
Been around during these. Pizza Wars, but there's probably, I'm sure our parents remember it.
I mean, maybe. Because there's totally a thing of even my mom doing the local things a lot more than the chains, honestly.
Yeah, we do. Yep. U- Usually, if we, yep. Usually, when we order pizza, it is a local pizza place.
I mean, you practically live next to one.
Yes, but actually, yeah. Well,
I
yes, we
mean, dang
do.
near close, right? Like
Yeah, we are.
that's typically the one that we go to a lot too. I mean, we cycle through a lot of them around
Hmm.
here, though. Um, we do one that is right near you, from
Hmm.
that farm. Um,
Hmm.
we do one that is dang near our high school,
Yeah.
which lately has actually kind of been under a renovation or something. I don't know what's going on, so we haven't done that one in a while. But um, we done the other one that's across from a Planet Fitness in a while.
Yeah.
And then I guess there's another one which
There's,
is near a certain movie theater,
yes,
or I
definitely.
guess was a movie theater anyway.
There's that, and then there's this other pizza chain. Not no, not a chain. No,
I
it's
think it
a
is
it,
just a single, like, I think it is just a single owned place
there is this
near
local pizza restaurant, but
Duncan, right?
it's not that one.
Not
But
that
there's
one.
one. If you go, oh my god,
Trying to do this without giving away information.
but it's, let's say if you were going to a
Give me
let's say if
landmarks that could be chains or something, right?
it's next to the, it's next to this Family Dollar. I'm sure. If you go up the road, it's on the same road as that Family Dollar. I'm gonna say it without actually
I
saying
don't
it.
know. I think I said that one.
I think you maybe, but this, they actually do make great wings. They really do.
I think I
Which,
did say that one. Yeah,
not, it's
I
not
think
the one.
we were both. How do I put this? We were both supremely on the right path.
Hmm.
Did you get it?
I think so. So I think so.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. We don't need to go on this tangent a lot, but there are definitely
But
a lot of smaller owned pizza places that are relatively near us. That is the, I guess, main point of this. Um,
but but yes,
Obviously, we could definitely name a few, like Papa John's. There are a few Domino's near us. Um, Trying to think, there isn't a Pizza Hut
there
anymore.
is, not anymore.
Not at
The one in
that
our local,
place.
the one in our local mall recently shut down.
True, I heard that too. Um, I was literally there. I was literally there yesterday.
I was there today and Saturday.
Uh, well, too many. You couldn't get any pizzas.
Eh, it's, oh well. But
Regardless,
there is a Little Caesars, but you'd have to go do a little bit of driving.
I don't think I've seen that location.
Yeah.
Whatever, doesn't matter. In the end, the pizza delivery wars of the 80s and 90s transformed the industry, pushing each chain to innovate and refine its strategies. The lessons learned during this period continue to shape the competitive landscape of the pizza business today, with a lasting impact on how these companies operate and cater to their customers. So there's definitely something that I wanted to say about like a Domino's memory that I've had. This was one time. It was like this was when my mom was pretty much like taking care of grandmother, right? She had Alzheimer's, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so she was gone. My dad was, I think, finishing up a round of a match bowling or whatever because he was like in a summer league or something. Coming home from like a bowling league, and this was at a point when I was probably 6 and my brothers were probably like 15 or something like that, right? And online, and we would just get the pizza tracking. We would just not stop looking at it. It'd be like, oh, it's in the car now. It's in the car now. The car, the left.
It's like you're essentially stalking the driver.
I mean, it would sound creepy, right? But if anything, the food, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's pulling in right now. I see it.
Oh, the destination is on your right.
Yeah, I remember just watching it.
Domino's has a tracker. They've always had it.
And I'm sure like other places have like a tracking system. It's probably not just Domino's, but
I'm sure.
that's like the memory that I have. It's like, oh my God, it's here. Ah! Oh, now it entered. What's a classic name for a road? Pine Street. It just entered Pine Street.
I don't know, something Drury Lane.
Drury Lane. It just went past 123 Sesame Street.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, now it's home. Here it is.
Yay! Here it is, fresh out of the oven.
Totally right.
Yeah.
So essentially, that is the extent of my pizza research, which I definitely could have done more, but for time reasons, I felt like this episode should not go super long.
Yeah, because, hey, it's really inconvenient for the customer to wait that long.
And it's inconvenient.
With that being said, it's time for another installment of our recipe swap segment called Taste Trades.
You shocked me there, man. I'm usually the taste trade announcer. Let's do this. What's the theme, man?
Well, it's kind of in theme of this episode, actually, but it's going to be called the Better Fast Food Burger Joint Edition. So, everything that can be on a burger joint menu, this
doesn't mean... Oh, wait.
Yes.
This doesn't mean burger, only thing on the menu. We also have access to anything else as long as the fast food place specializes in burgers. Wait. As long as a fast food place specializing in burgers has it on the menu.
Yeah, chicken nuggets, fries, sundaes, shakes, cookies, the whole list goes on. But anything a burger place has to offer, as usual, we will both open up the document the other had prepared for us and see them on the count of 3. And afterwards, we will come back in the future after we have made, eaten, and cleaned the dishes. 2 seconds for you, possibly a week for us.
Maybe even a month, maybe even a year. Hopefully not that long.
I hope
Actually,
not,
wait a minute. We'll probably be coming back in another year.
Yeah, because, as of this...
24.
Oh, yeah. Well, as this episode, which will probably not be released till the following year, the holidays are around the corner, so we might take a small break. But, Docs.
I will preface one thing. I want you to read the first page of, the first paragraph of mine before you scroll down and do anything else. I want you to actually live read that. So, of course, as Taste Trade segment, I will be opening the one that says Dom, and you will be opening the one that says me. So, obviously, we set things so it's like the, I guess, first page is usually blank.
Yeah.
And obviously, on the count of three, we'll scroll down. But the thing is, Dom, I want you to actually read out loud the paragraph that I wrote ahead of time because I think this will be worth it.
All right. You want me to pop in right now?
Pop into the document, but let me know whenever you're on the first. I'm saying on the blank page.
I gotta look at this in the present. Okay. So. Yes, I am.
All right, on the
All
count
right.
of three and on go.
Okay. 2, 1. What's this?
Read my big paragraph.
All right. So, ooh, look at this nice paragraph. In our podcast segment, trades, more specifically, the theme song being Fast Food But Better, Burger Joint Edition. I've cooked up a delightful twist that not only fits the theme, but also exploits a clever loophole. While it may seem like we're deviating with this not being a burger or nuggets, the genius lies in its potential presence on a burger joint's menu. This specific item is located on the breakfast menu of Sonic Drive-In, which I would say counts as a fast food joint. So, I didn't break them rules. Gotta love loopholes. You can see the original menu below. Which,
Many
yep.
burger joints, especially those embracing diverse breakfast offerings, often include breakfast burritos as part of their repertoire. The sausage and egg breakfast burrito is a classic breakfast choice that seamlessly and aligns with the fast food ambience. By selecting the savory delight, we're not straying from the burger joint theme, but rather tapping into the broader spectrum of their menu. Moreover, this choice caters to the need for a quick, satisfying breakfast, a crucial aspect of the fast food experience. It's a scrumptious fusion of breakfast comfort and the on-the-go convenience synonymous with burger joints. Now, Dom, you have an admirable yet slightly comical aversion to eggs. I've crafted a masterpiece that, while prominently featuring eggs, is a subtle nod to your unwavering dedication to avoiding them. It's a sausage egg breakfast burrito, man, the very mention of which might make you shudder. But hey, it's all in good fun. And who knows? Maybe this podcast episode will be the egg experience. See what I did there? That changes it all. Prepare for the unexpected. And to add a cheeky layer to this culinary adventure, part of what makes this breakfast burrito better than the offerings at your typical fast food joint, looking at you, Sonic, is that you'll be crafting your very own flour tortilla. So not only will you have the daring challenge of consuming a pocket of eggs, you'll also be the mastermind behind creating the pocket itself. It's a double whammy of culinary delight and torture, all wrapped up in the spirit of elevating fast food to new heights. Or should I say, new rolls of tortillas. Get ready to unleash your inner breakfast burrito virtuoso. Now, if you're wondering why I've chosen sausage egg breakfast burrito, there might be a hint of playful revenge in the mix. A subtle payback for our
Oh
recurring
my
cookie
god.
fiascos.
I knew this. I knew this was happening.
Yeah, you know the ones where we inadvertently and eerily select cookie recipes simultaneously. We did it twice. While I might prefer deep-seated disdain for those coincidences, rest assured this breakfast burrito choice is all in good humor. Consider it a saviation, a culinary twist aimed at shaking up a recipe showdown tradition. So brace yourself, man, for the revenge is served, not just on a plate, but wrapped in a tortilla. At this, no, a dish served lukewarm to hot. No breakfast burrito.
Yeah, well, Typically, revenge is a dish best served cold, but in this case, it looks like it's gonna be lukewarm, like some fast food items that are made. But okay, this doesn't look dark.
I am turning to the dark side, man.
You really, yeah, well,
I am making you eat this bucket of eggs, man. And this bucket of double
uh,
anyway.
hmm,
But at least you could have sauce, which I believe you're fine with.
let me just look at this really
But
quick
yeah,
for
I'm
the
also
thing.
having you make a tortilla on your own.
So you really want me to use cheese?
I
You actually.
really want you to use cheese and eggs in this. Yes. Yes.
Um,
Hey, you have to stop choosing the same thing as I do.
oh God.
And
Okay.
you can't say I didn't break the rules. Well, you can't say I broke the rules because I didn't. Sonic is a burger chain.
Mm.
So
Oh
suck
God.
it.
Oh, well, I think I have no problem making the tortilla, but
You probably don't have a problem with making any of this. It's the next part.
okay.
You just hate me right now. I love it. I love this feeling.
Oh, I bet you do. Well,
Because it looks like all I have to do is make a burger. And I'm okay. I don't use cheese. You don't have cheese. That's fine. I could eat one burger without it.
mm,
But
yes.
yeah,
You just want me to be miserable, don't you?
I want you to know what it's like to be miserable. Because twice now we've both done cookies and I don't like it.
You mean the one ingredient? You mean the ingredient recipe that you gave me and I gave you something totally different, right? Is this the
Oh,
revenge?
that's not totally different. It's that you did a cookie twice.
Oh no.
And
Oh God.
both times I finished my cookie recipe first, so it makes me think that you cheated and looked at mine and saw that it was a cookie and put a cookie there too.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna have fun with this.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you will. Did you look at my recipe?
Looking at it right now, that's why I know it was better take on White Castle sliders.
Yes, back actually it's supposed to be a bit. I'm not making ones either, so you're making me make the tortilla.
Right, because honestly, just doing the filling is not hard at all. There's no challenge to just scrambling eggs and tacking on some cheese.
Is this something, or am I serving this to people?
You're eating it. That is the rule of the game, man.
What is this going to be like the one chip challenge where I have to record myself eating the item and
That's a
watching
good
me?
idea that you had. You should do that. Good
Ah,
idea. I wasn't gonna make you until you had that brilliant idea.
I was just joking. I'm not gonna do that.
You have to now, otherwise you're backing out.
What if I do it for myself? What if I record it for myself? I'm not posting it.
Hey, at least put it on private.
Well, okay, kids. Well, we'll be back for part 2, and hopefully I come back either
In one piece.
either sane or not. I will be back.
Maybe I have created a monster.
Someone's gonna have their popcorn and watch me die.
Only if you record it, man.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'll record it then if you want.
Hey, we already have. I can't even say it. It's so funny. We already have We already have one clip at like 43 minutes and 30 seconds of that one thing.
Yeah.
Amazing lettuce footage.
Oh yeah. This.
Number 15.
Yep.
Burger King foot lettuce.
Yeah.
The last thing you'd want in your Burger King burger is someone's foot fungus. And as it turns out, that might be what you get.
Yeah. Well, whether I'm sane or not in the next part, I will be attempting to make this. All right.
And I will be attempting to make this.
All right.
So, I guess.
All right. We'll be back in the new year.
And we're back. No.
And it's been a week since, I guess, as of the time of our recording, that we did the part 1 of this episode. So the reason why it took us a week is because we've been making the recipes that we swapped together. And for Jake, I gave him a mock-up of the original White Castle slider from 1921. And Jake here gave me the task of making a Sonic breakfast burrito.
That's right.
Yep. And in case anyone didn't catch this, I did record myself eating the product, trying it out for him.
Oh, is this going to be something where you actually share it, or is this just for my eyes?
This was kind of something I put a pin in. Either we can put it in the... Actually, I'm probably just going to have it show in your eyes.
Just in my eyes thing. Okay, well.
But yes,
if this video gets...
if this gets 10 likes, then I'll make it public.
I am making 10 accounts. No, I'm too lazy for that. And just as a reminder to everybody who may have forgotten or is new here, we do also judge these things based off of a few criteria. Say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how easy it went for us. This is just the instructions, right? How well they were written, how clear of an idea you had, all of that. The second one being the same scale, right? 1 to 10, but how we enjoyed it, how tasty it was, how we just liked doing it, if we were in a meditative state or whatever your excuse for the chocolate chip cookies was. And honestly, whether or not we would make it again, that's what we typically do. That's what we're always going to do. But if there was any other criteria that Dom wanted to put out there, because this is technically his recipe swap this time. This one's not mine.
Yeah,
Did you have any other criteria in mind?
Oh,
that we judge it off?
We also have to point this out again. There will also be no substitutions with the process.
That's not a criteria. That's a demand.
Let's see. Yes, you rate it on how the experience was, whether we want to make it again, but also, I guess.
So you don't have any other criteria in mind?
Nothing off the top of my head. That's usually how my brain works.
All right. So I guess with that, now we could go on to the actual discussion about these recipes here. So, did you want to? You know what? No, I actually feel like it's proper for me to share my experience with yours first, because let me just say, I think we should finish with a bang. So you should go second.
Okay. Well, I mean, another thing before you start explaining your experience, I guess one criteria I have is how on theme is the recipe here?
Right. It sounds like you're kind of reintroducing the thing that I was upset about
Ah,
last
yes.
time, and you're kind of
Because,
shoving it in my face, right?
mm-hmm.
But I do have a fair logistic argument with how well mine was, but we'll obviously wait. So,
Mm-hmm.
without further ado, I, as you heard before, had the task of making a better White Castle slider, right? Which I guess if we're going to talk about whether it's on theme or not, I mean, White Castle is, a burger joint,
Yeah.
and sliders are a burger. It
Mm-hmm.
kind of goes, 1 + 1 must equal 2, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
so whether or not it's on theme, yes, it by law is on theme.
But yes, White Castle was actually the first fast food burger joint, not McDonald's.
Hmm. I thought the first fast food was Cheetah.
Ah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, unfortunately, or actually, maybe fortunately, there wasn't any Cheetah in this. This only included, let me see here. This only included ground beef, onion, slider buns, and 1 pickle. So yeah, pretty much the activity of just making a burger. Let's put it simply. It's like no real difference from any of my other burger nights. It's literally the same thing. It's just ground beef.
But on a smaller scale, though, right?
It's on a smaller scale, sure.
But it's no different than your typical routine.
It's no different from typical routine. So I would okay, on a scale of enjoyment of the final product, right? A scale of enjoyment, yeah, I'd say bog standard, like 6 on a good day, you know? Like, it obviously wasn't offensive, right? It's not like the recipe asked me to slice my hand open and add some extra seasoning, right? It wasn't
Like,
offensive.
there was no ketchup in the recipe.
True, it wasn't offensive,
Yeah.
but it also wasn't, you know, it was standard. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, in my opinion, what you gave me was just a burger,
I don't know.
which it
Well,
was. It by law that was. I was almost expecting you to be like, "Oh, take some butter, melt it, put it in the ground beef patty, take some Thousand Island dressing or something, massage it in too, and that's your patty or something, right? Something different than just take
the,
a ground beef patty, smush it on a pan, or should I
you're
say,
supposed to.
smush a tiny bit because these are sliders, right? They're not full
You're
size. Um,
supposed to be essentially a homemade version of the original 1921 slider.
True, which it did have, and it did have enjoyment, which is why I kind of said, 5 6, right? It's not a 1, but it's definitely not a 10, man. Um,
Um,
but honestly, hang on, I forgot the other thing. Um,
Speaking of food, it sounds like your dog sounds hungry.
I know that's not the case. The case with that is there's probably, a stranger who might be backing into their parking space like 7 miles away
Mm-hmm.
because everything the light touches is, the dogs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no concept of this is my yard, this is your yard. If you're entering your house that's across the street, I have to bark at you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
All right.
the third criteria that I honestly almost forgot about, even though I just said it like briefly ago, was how easy it is.
All
Again,
right.
but yeah, as for the difficulty, I would have to probably say that that's pretty much standard. So I would probably say maybe 4 or 5, something like that.
All right. All
Um,
right.
so pretty much you gave like an average. You get an average of 5, I guess. I guess
All right.
that's what I'll label this one as. This is a 5 because it wasn't offensive, but it was kind of bog standard, and at the same time, it wasn't hard. But there could be things that if I never made burgers before would be difficult. So,
All right.
obviously the patty was just a patty. The onion was just an onion, and the pickle was surprisingly just a pickle, right? Surprising nobody.
Wow, that's crazy.
The fourth criteria, since you did tack on another one, um, I already said that last one, so I guess the only one that I have to do is whether or not this would be done again. And judging based off of the fact that I've done this before, let alone I always include cheese, but this time, had to do it the way that it was written. It's iffy, right? Because I've done
Yeah.
these before, but I don't know if I would lack the cheese next time, or really ever again. So, I mean, this might be the first yes and no to the I will make it again, because I've done it. Let's just say yes, but with cheese, right?
Yep. Just like at White Castle, you can order it with cheese.
But not based out of the recipe though, because the recipe did not include that.
No, it's not. That's well. So yes and no. Then I'll take that.
Yes,
Then
yes, and no. I guess. I guess you get a little maybe with a side of fries, right?
sure. Yeah.
Uh, Unfortunately, there wasn't any friggin' fries on the ingredients either, which would have been kind of cool. But
Well, nope. It's how it was done back then. Nope. You ordered. Well, I had you just make a singular burger, but when
right,
it came out, like you ordered a couple burgers for 5 cents, or you ordered like a stack of them
yeah,
because that's
I
how.
think it was like 4. I think that sounds right.
Mhm.
Because like visually, it looks neater, right? You think of a
Mhm.
2x2 grid of like circular buns. It's like 4. Like that's pleasing to look at, even if it might not be pleasing 2 hours from now.
Eh,
Uh,
um.
However, let's get a little drum roll here.
Mhm.
Good enough. Let's get into Dom. How did you? You know what? You just explain the whole thing. Take us step by step.
Okay, so to start off, I had to make the tortillas.
Right. Talk about that extensively.
I did the flour. So for the salt, there's just one mistake I did make when I measured the salt. But
Blasphemy. I did
so,
yours word for word.
but however, I did everything else the way it was written. But no, but that was by accident. This
99%, I guess.
no, instead of I think it called for teaspoons, but I accidentally did a tablespoon
Dang, you
of
like
salt. But
sodium, man.
yep, I like the salt. But no, but the tortillas actually the first two kind of came out as more like a tortilla chip because
You did it too long.
maybe, and also I did not roll it out like thin enough for the first two, but then the last two I did them right.
Right, okay.
All right.
Take the remainder of the tortilla then, because I genuinely want to know how your process.
So I did the yep. I put the warm water in,
Right,
and then I did the olive oil.
right.
I mixed it all until everything got together. And then 5 minutes straight, I did the kneading until it became smooth.
Yeah,
But then the recipe called for it to be in four things of 4 dough balls,
yeah,
and
yeah.
which I
Yeah.
did. But then when actually making the rest of it, I only needed one.
Yeah. I mean
Um,
the the reasoning behind that was like, like you make 4 of them, then that's like a recipe in it of itself. Not a lot of people just make one tortilla. They always make like a stack or whatever, and then they could go back, a stack to go back.
Hmm.
But yeah, so
So I did that. The first 2 I did not, like I said, I did not roll them out thin enough, so it took a little longer to do. But then I rolled them out again even thinner, and then I put it back on the skillet. Okay, I cooked it to make it like it made it crispy a little bit.
nice.
Okay, so then the last 2, then I did it exactly the way it was done. I rolled it out super thin, and then oh my god, this looks like a store-bought
Nice.
so and I had to essentially wait about an hour then there's only 3 ingredients I missed. So luckily enough, I had family that was able to grab me the ingredients, and then I proceeded from there.
Right.
I did the diced tomatoes and the cilantro. There's one confusing thing for me when it came to the sausage, because sausage takes longer to cook than the eggs. That really kind of got me. I did exactly how I was told. The pork sausage links, other ingredients together. I was like, should I really? So the recipe called for it to then cook the eggs first, and on the same skillet, then I have to cook the sausage.
Yep.
But when it burn, well, I'm cooking the sausage because the sausage takes so much longer. Shouldn't I cook? It would make more sense to then cook the sausage before the eggs.
That's your
Personal.
opinion, but I do it as I literally wrote it as I do it. So
what doing though is cooking them simultaneously, because there's no way I can then cook the eggs first in sausage. So not undercook the sausages or burnt the eggs.
nice. I mean, I could do it in the same skillet, in the exact same way. But you know what? This is your first time doing it, so I'll give you a pass.
What I would have done is like did the sausage first and then the egg. But that's and
It's kind of
I put the
preference, yeah.
The tortillas though were small enough to put like a spoon eggs on there, and then it was a little tough, but that's because I've been waiting a while. But I don't think that's why.
I think that's probably because you might have over mixed it. Because whenever you're dealing with flour and liquid, the more you stir it, the more gluten gets into it, really.
Other than that, other than that, it was fine.
Like,
luckily, I didn't taste the what.
Like the next, I was just saying something in passing, but the next time, like you make something like a cupcake or something like that, right, or a muffin, whatever, you could do an experiment where it's like you stir half of it, like less, or the other mix considerably longer than the other one. The one that you mixed more would end up a lot tougher and a lot denser. That's why whenever you're dealing with doughs like that, they always say just incorporate the the dry, right? Just incorporate. Just make sure it's in there. Not that every grain has to be, perfectly blended, because there is over mixing, which sounds like happened, but for a first timer, it sounds like you did real well with that.
Yes, 3 other tortillas left, but I actually did try it out, and I did record myself. So if this gets 10 likes, I'm gonna publicize the video, which I still have, as of right now, I still have to upload privately.
Okay. So, I mean, okay, wait a minute. Are you giving a time limit to it? Or are you just saying whenever it gets to 10?
Well, just
no time
when
limit.
it gets. So I'm not. If you like it, woohoo! If not, okay. But yes, there's no time limit.
So
If it
theoretically, we could be, doing this for 2 more years or whatever. We're,
and then it gets 10 likes.
we're at Nickelodeon Slime. We're
Choice
the Choice
Awards.
Awards. Yeah, we're the 2 hosts of that. And it finally gets to 10. And then you can, okay, public now. So, okay, that's cool.
There is no time limits, but yeah.
Nice.
But let's talk about my enjoyment for this.
Enjoyment, yeah.
In the sense being a therapy thing, okay. It's probably from 1 being terrible to 10 being woohoo, the best. It's kind of I would say it's an 8 for, hey, I can listen to something and then make this. All right.
That's fair.
The enjoyment, I guess, for being a novice at trying to get really into cooking, I guess it's a 5.
Okay.
So this one here there's like 2 versions of it.
Yeah, I see.
Actual final product.
Actual product. Here we go.
I would say it's a 6.
You know what? Better than I thought it was going to be.
6, due to the fact that I did not taste the cheese in the actual burrito, but I did end up saving the sausage and eggs because I still had a lot more than I was expecting.
You were fine with the eggs, though.
Hey, they were fine with the. Like I said in the first part, I actually acquired a taste for egg whites.
Right, but this time you used the whole thing, right?
Okay, it's fine when it's with food, but not when I'm on its own.
So, like the scrambled egg just on its own?
Nope, I did it with the sausage and all the other vegetables that I put in there, which the ones that you listed.
Okay. I kind of want to do some experiments, but you know what? That could be at later time.
But so as for will I make this again? I would not say not the specific item. I would probably make the tortilla again if we don't have any prepackaged tortillas. It's like, hey, do I go to the store when I could just whip them up right now?
Right. That's like my mentality. Well, hey, welcome to making food.
It's like, why spend $5 at Walmart to get like pre-made flour tortillas when you can just make them yourself? It's pretty easy.
And to piggyback off of that, like the pre-made stuff might be, $5, right? But you could get like a pound bag of flour for water coming out of the tap, right? You probably already have salt too. You probably do like all of it relatively cheaper than the prepackaged stuff.
And then, so if I wanted, I could get corn masa and make corn tortillas.
You can.
Because it doesn't have to just be flour. Because I do tend to like corn tortillas more than flour, to be honest.
Wait a minute. Hang on here. So technically, you're saying...
I'm not. Okay,
no,
I'm just saying.
No. I'm not focused on that. I'm saying something. I mean, related, but not what you think I'm saying. You're saying technically that this again. It's also a yes no.
I'm saying I would make this tortilla recipe again. We'll do that. But I could also apply this to maybe corn masa if I wanted to make corn tortillas. But yes, I would make the flour tortillas again if I wanted to make something else.
That's honestly fair. That's the same sort of scenario I have with pizzas, right? It's like I got the baseline. You have to do like a baseline cheese, right? And if you can manage to do a baseline cheese, then you can graduate and test out different things, right? Put meats on it this time, season it differently, remove a thing from it, or change out the flour type. You gotta have an understanding before you do all these fancy other things, right? It's
Yeah.
it's the same sort of thing, or I guess the same reason why a lot of like the fancy cooking schools. And yes, I'm not. I know you're probably not going to be the one to go there, but the fancy ones always have a whole year or something dedicated to eggs, because that's a thing to comprehend, but they are kind of hard to master. Obviously, the scramble is like one of the bog standard easy ones, but you still can mess those up too. They could be too dry, they could be too wet. It's hard, but it's easy. It's one of those weird things, right?
But yeah, also, I mean, we did talk about this in a private chat, but yes, I did wash dishes along the way because you have to.
You gotta do
You have, because then if you don't do it, then you're gonna be like, oh, why do I have all these dishes? That's why you have to do it while you cook.
You gotta do it, right? Like there are moments where it's like, oh, you're using the oven. I don't think you used the oven really at all, but let's say you did, right? You baked something in the oven for 20 minutes. That's 20 minutes you could spend on this part instead of just waiting and, I don't know, looking at themes or something, right? Like, you gotta allocate that time.
Yeah,
Beautiful when you can actually finish the dishes while the dish is being finished.
Yeah. But
How about the fourth one? Area of it being on theme.
Considered a burger joint but I never really thought of them being solely focused on burgers as they.
You didn't say that.
I mean, I don't know. Okay.
You did
Okay.
not
Let me take that.
solely
Let me take that back. Let me take that back. Let me take that back. Actually, yeah, I mean, they kind of are because they're kind of a burger joint.
Every single commercial that you see,
it's about yes.
There's a
So
burger in it.
I take it back. So yes, it is. But
of course, there's roller
I would say
skaters.
it's on theme. It is on theme.
It's on theme. I went into the whole debate about it like in the first half, right? I was like, this is.
You set me up with this revenge.
I was like, okay, you're not a fan of eggs normally. You're not a fan of cheese. Maybe normally, because I mean,
I didn't taste it.
You were able to have it, right? Not a fan of two things, and I wanted to make you home make something too.
But as of I did it. But I did.
You have a digital high five right here, right?
Perfect.
You have that. There you go.
Perfect.
You did better than I thought you were.
I did. You had your little holiday break too.
True.
I did.
That's worth actually mentioning. We were doing this in the middle of like holiday break, right?
Although it's still at the same time, it was still on my mind, thinking, okay, I still have this I gotta do.
Right, yeah. So for I guess a little behind the scenes, yes, this is gonna date when we recorded these and stuff like that, but we week on the 22nd or something was like the first day of our break, and the last one was gonna be, the 31st, right?
Yeah, kind of like how
31.
Yeah, kind of like how schools usually do this. So we kind of did the same thing that they do.
And we had the caveat of, well, if you wanted to work on something, you can.
But I'm like, yeah,
wasn't going to stop you. It's just, not a lot of kids are reading on their holiday break. Some do. Great for them.
Good. Woo! I
did do some like typing and working like on the break. but it didn't like, text you every single decision that I had.
No, but like, and then sort of after, and then I'm like, okay, time to look at the grocery list,
But
and
like
I did.
actually like a week or two before we even decided to have a break, right? We recorded the last episode, right? Speeches and Stream, right? That one was then recorded. No, not then recorded. Then scheduled to upload while we were on the break, right? It's like I think on the 21st, actually, the day before like the supposed break, we scheduled it, and it was like supposed to go on for like 26 or 27, something like that. One of the hard parts being, trying to get an okay on whether this thumbnail was okay or not. Schedule saltiness aside, just some people need a reminder, and some people need reminders for those reminders, and that's where we were at.
Yeah, but hey, we succeeded at.
We succeeded, and you know what? It is the new year.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
As it stands right now, it is definitely after the first. So we're now back at the grindstone.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe next episode we might have a little discussion of resolutions or whatever. But honestly, with it being number 30, I kind of want to save something. I kind of want to do something big with that. So I might force Dom to talk about resolutions and stuff like that for his.
Yeah. Okay, so
we do have a good one planned for 30 though.
We do. So the taste trades, right?
Oh, we did the taste trades. Let's get back into the actual content.
All right, so I did not do research on this, but this is just based on my observation and what I lived through and what you've lived through as well. But I've noticed in the year 2019, Popeyes had this very that people for, which really says a lot about those people. But this, well, just about every fast food place has now, and that is called the Chich.
Right.
Okay. Not that there weren't really some chicken sandwiches of any sort back like before 2019, but 2019 was the year of the chicken sandwich. And then, baffles me how the extents that people can go just for a chicken sandwich.
I mean, you also gotta think about slight tangent, but related since it is a fast food thing. But remember whenever the Rick and Morty Szechuan sauce of McDonald's, I guess infamy, because it was like, it was a big thing. It was coming back, I think, right? Because it used to be a thing. I think that was where the joke started, right?
Back when Mulan came out.
Yeah, and they reintroduced that because a Rick and Morty episode had like a little joke in it, right? Something like that, and it came back, and people were freaking out over it. You see the same sort of thing with like again McDonald's, but like they're like they're right.
Oh,
that was a good thing too, right?
Oh, that's another thing I want to bring up too.
But obviously we could dive
celebrity meals.
A little bit. Yeah, we could dive into that a little bit later. I kind of want to spend some time on the chicken sandwich though.
Now that you remind me of that, I'll talk about that after this.
Yeah, sure.
But this is really what started it. And then I guess from 2019 to 2020, 2021, yep, we started seeing KFC have the chicken sandwich, which literally the same thing as it's really their version of it, but it's same ingredients like a mayonnaise and spicy mayonnaise. It's got the pickle in it. I actually tried the Popeyes chicken sandwich in October of 2019. okay, it just tastes like any other chicken I've ever had, except it's Popeyes. But yep, 2000 seeing fast food places having their chicken sandwiches with like the deluxe, like McDonald's has their McCrispy. Um, Burger King had their Chicken. I think 2022, this wing place called Wingstop, they had their chicken sandwich, except instead of there being a spicy mayo or mayo, they had their wing sauces that you would put on any wings or boneless wings. So they kind of did their version of that.
That right there is a marketing, in my opinion, like marketing genius, because they already had been established with a chicken type of thing. So it just
Yeah.
makes sense to throw what they already onto this new thing, right? Because in my knowledge, I don't think McDonald's has like, you know, sauces. I don't even think Taco Bell has 10 different hot sauces, do they? I think it's
Mm-hmm.
like a packet of 4.
They have the hot, the mild, hot, fire, and then Diablo. But they're not known for that.
Right.
Wingstop is known for that.
So that Wingstop idea of just, oh, let's just make bigger wings, I guess, and slap it on a bun to fit in with the rest of them was a great idea. Like a lot of fast food places are not on different condiments. I get why they keep what they keep, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with the standard ketchup, relish, mayos,
Mm-hmm.
mustards, barbecue sauces, but
Yeah.
they gotta, in my opinion, everywhere needs to have more sauces at their disposal. I mean, you somewhat get that with the McNugget sauces, right? You
Mm-hmm.
somewhat get that with
I mean, yes,
McDonald's having their sweet and sour too, right? They have a
but
barbecue sauce and whatever, but it's not
with
to the extent of all of these other places. Yes, McDonald's isn't, the sauce place,
no, they're not.
but they
Because we
could try more. I really think everywhere needs to try more with their sauces.
speaking
Maybe
of yeah,
team up with different crews or whatever, right? Like have
they need a
I don't know, have Mr. Beast give his sauces, or he doesn't have sauces actually, no.
Ed Sheeran has a sauce actually.
That's something right there, right?
Tingly Ted's.
Ting, tingly teds. That's a euphemism for something.
That's no, that's I'm not even making that up.
Oh,
But chef
okay.
but but
You're just thinking out loud, right?
but but yeah, this all boils down to, hey, they should do something like the most mildest to hottest thing, even if it's just maybe 3 sauces. Doesn't have to be the wing places do.
Like this isn't fast food, right? But I'm gonna mention, not by name, but there was one we went to this certain, uh, I would say, restaurant, because
Mm-hmm.
it was mostly, it was,
Shit.
inspired by nature, but I don't really know if it's, for the sake of it, we could call it a Mexican place, right? But we went there, and on the table in the centerpiece were 3 bottles, right? There was one that like I could never touch, and
Mm-hmm.
then the other two, it's like a mild and a medium sort of thing. The medium even kind of did
Mm-hmm.
did one was kind of on the hot side, but at the end of the day, had 3 sauces. You could also order other things that they had in the kitchen too, where it's like they had other sauces. You could straight up be like, hey, put the mango tapatio salsa on it, and they
Mm-hmm.
would have had it, right? They would
Yeah.
add sauces at the dis at
Yeah.
because and I know I'm saying McDonald's a lot, but that's
But
like
this
that's a fast food that a lot of
it's
people
on
know.
theme though. It's on theme.
It's also like one of the popular ones, so like a lot of people know it. Um, in you can't just grab, you know, two sweet and sour containers yourself. You have to ask to get them from from behind. But at the soda fountain, I call it preparation area. You could grab a mayo packet, you could grab a ketchup packet, but you can't grab the container ones.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you should be able to grab any of them, right? You
Yeah.
should
It'd be nice.
do that, not just the ketchups where it's like you grab a handful of them or whatever, but you should be able to do that with
The
other
condiments.
sauces, other things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they give them to you. I don't know why they don't have a bucket that you could just grab them yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just in case my tangent made you forget, you want to talk about the celebrity stuff?
So, to my knowledge, I've only ever seen McDonald's do this, but I think starting in 2020, we had a Travis Scott meal. But then we had later on, we've had J Balvin, whatever his name is. So like, okay, is this something that they order themselves if they go to McDonald's, or is this just a cash grab?
And it could both.
Probably that. That's what I want to think. Um, but I'm not going to go through every celebrity meal. But actually, there was one other celebrity meal 30 years prior to the Travis Scott, which I mean, I could be totally wrong about this, but I think there was something like a Michael Jordan meal, but I'll have to do some research after this. But yeah, I actually haven't. As of now, we actually haven't seen much of this celebrity meals, but for a while we've gotten quite a number of them. And
Actually, I have something from the New York Times written in 2021. Actually, from December 8th, unless if that's supposed to August 12th. I don't know the order that they have their date in, whatever, but it's from 2021, where it's titled "The Era of the Celebrity Meal." The subtitle: Fast food chains are hungry for celebrity partners to drive sales and appeal to the younger consumers. The method is working, and it really has been. You hear a lot of the Travis Scott meal being like, "Ooh, I gotta try it. I gotta try it." Even if it's just one time, all it takes is a million people to try it one time for it to give a lot of money, right? That's that's
okay,
wild.
so yeah, so actually I was right. It
That
was
a
called like
Jordan thing.
the Mick Jordan.
That is a good name.
And I think it kind
It
of
works.
and I think it kind of surgeons like after a while.
On
But
a Friday afternoon in the spring of 2020, Hope Bagazi, you pronounced that wrong. I apologize, Hope. The chief marketing officer at the Canadian coffee chain Tim Hortons is on a Zoom call with representatives for Justin Bieber. The agenda for the meeting: exploring a possible partnership between the two Canadian greats. The call was business as usual, but took a surreal turn when suddenly Miss Boghosi remembered a black box that had been silent on the screen turned on, revealing the presence of Mr. Bieber himself. He
hmm,
spoke about how much he enjoyed eating Timbits, the restaurant's bite-sized donuts. Okay, it explained it. At one point, Mr. Bieber pulled out a guitar and pulled out a guitar to perform a song of Morton's that he used to sing to his siblings. Um, Obviously isn't just an American thing because that's
we
as we mentioned, a Canadian.
We've had a couple of Tim
Oh,
Hortons in our area.
I've seen one. I mean, it was across a certain bridge, but I
Yeah, I
have seen
remember.
one.
We've had them and
That's
before,
the only one I've seen.
but yeah, that's that though.
Yeah, you're not.
I'm not. Uh,
But welcome to the era of the celebrity Happy Meal, I guess, right?
yeah, yeah, we've been getting.
Fast food companies are tripping over themselves to align their products with supernova musicians and
Mm,
influencers in the hopes that their menu items will appeal to the younger audience. I mean, that it like Jordan, right?
mm-hmm.
It was a new thing back then, but I guess if you go even further beyond that, in the 70s, I'm sure there were commercials that just happened to have someone from the 70s endorsing it,
Yeah.
right? There
Mm,
had to have been like uh,
mm.
the Beatles high-fiving Ronald McDonald or something.
Oh yeah. So yeah. As of right now, actually, well, at least as of I guess now last month, as of for the recording of this, there was actually some kind of an adult Happy Meal called the Carowin Frost Box, which then had the McNugget Pals, which was a relic of the '90s and '80s. I've heard of that.
No, I haven't. Um,
I don't even
well,
know who this guy is, but
let's see here. I could give some more examples of different celebrity ones because it lists it here. Dunkin' Donuts, the donut and coffee chain all throughout America, and I think maybe the world, but definitely America, teamed up with Charlie D'Amelio, a TikTok star. There was a little Huddy meal at Burger King. Megan Thee Stallion has her own sauce with Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen.
oh, I remember that.
It's called Hottie Sauce, naturally. McDonald's, with Saweetie.
Oh, yep,
The BTS meal, heard of that one.
yep,
The J Balvin, like you said, the Travis Scott, which we said. In November, 8 people were killed and dozens were injured during Mr. Scott's performance at the Astroworld Festival in
yep.
Houston.
Yep.
The performer's partnership with McDonald's and 2020, according to the company.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
He,
Scott thing.
this month, well, not this month, but obviously this was written like 2, 3 years ago at this point. Um, so 2, 3 years ago, McDonald's joined with the Queen of Christmas herself, Mariah Carey, to promote 12 days of deals on her favorite items. Really never really eats because she's a celebrity that has to keep her figure.
Yeah, huh.
So she's not eating that. She's not eating
McDonald's.
a freaking Big Mac.
If anything, she's gonna cook something that Gordon Ramsay cooks because the quality's got to be good.
Not, I'm not even saying that. Like Gordon Ramsay still at least uses like fats and stuff. She probably just eats like one fry and that's it. Right?
Maybe, but hey, we don't know. We don't know anything about her. We're just kind of guessing here.
For legal reasons. That is a joke. We do not know anything about Mariah Carey
We do not know her life,
other
but
than that she only wants us for Christmas.
maybe. Certainly not McDonald's.
Yeah, but I guess to kind of summarize this section, COVID,
That was the
why a lot of these celebrities are were teaming up with these places. Well, obviously they wanted more money to align their pockets, but the reason why we bought it, well, you're not leaving and you want to have something. If everyone's ordering something, I don't want to miss out on something the moment that, McDonald's gets something
hmm
in their stores, right?
Yeah.
Like there is that fear of missing out, and it's especially rampant related to do. That's not even for
hmm
whenever you have a celebrity shoe line, people flock to the shoe line. Whenever they want that burger, whenever they're in a video game, they want that game. It's a whole weird
It's like the celebrities.
Celebrityship is a weird world,
Like,
really, if you think about it.
like, here's an example. Okay, so was in the first like Spider-Man trilogy, but guess what? He voiced all three of the video games for those movies, so everyone wanted those games because it's Tobey Maguire voice. But that's not crap.
I don't like things like that. Both the movies and the video games, right?
So this seems to be, well, we've been seeing. This kind of makes me think about what's the future gonna be for this.
Honestly, like, okay, I'm going to quickly say something that I saw at, Dunkin' Donuts, right? They know their donuts, right? Which will hopefully lead into something else in the future. So I'm referring to something in the past, and then I'm going to evolve it in my head to see what I kind of want to see. So maybe 10 years ago, I went to a local Dunkin' Donuts, doesn't matter which one, because I think a lot of them do it, where one empty shelf of their donuts is usually reserved for a little thing called a manager's special, right?
Mm.
Where it's different in different areas, I guess, depending on maybe if the manager is managing 3 different places, maybe it's the same at those 3 places, but usually it's different in all the places. It's even different after 2 weeks pass, right? But one, every single time very much appealed to me. I like that. I like the different every single time attitude. Of course, it's donuts, and I'm freaking, I don't know how much I am, like 270, right? I'm gonna eat a donut no matter what. I like having different ones.
You gotta have the variety because then you get tired of the same thing.
The variety's fun, right? Like some people don't even want to try something different because they know that they already like one thing. But the thing that I always think about whenever I hear something about is, well, if you gamble once and try a new thing on the menu, maybe then you have 2 things like there. Oh my God. Whoa.
I mean,
Imagine that. Of course,
yeah.
then they always come back pessimistically and they're like, well, if I gamble, try something new, and I don't like it, that means I wasted my time. Well, no, you didn't, because you could try something different.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of guilty of, hey, I get the same thing. Like, at a local Buffalo Wild, I usually get the same item every there. However, very rarely I've tried different flavors.
So,
Wings.
the thing that I would kind of recommend for you, yes, I know it's a chain and they have to make money too, right? That's not the argument here, but what you could do is order the same thing that you usually get, but if you get a second tray, get a different flavor.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's a, basic stream, just a different flavor, different experience. Like maybe sweet teriyaki, right? Like
Yeah.
that's not spicy at all, but it's a different thing. It, with it being not the same thing, ironically, it spices it up.
Of course.
Regardless how bland it is, it's different.
But
I
yeah.
like that. I like the different.
We do
With
gotta want the different because not everyone's gonna like what you like, so there's gotta be different flavors.
Yeah, that's a good thing too. There's a ordering just for you and going with a group, right? You might be able to handle atomic stuff, but I might be able to handle like a 1 or 2 out of 10, right?
Like Orsos. Yeah.
Like you might have to order to just a regular buffalo or something just to, just to match, right? If we were to have a shared middle, it would have to be something that both of us kind of agree on, and both of us kind of can enjoy. Obviously, the more people in that group, the harder that decision is, because someone only wants a 10 out of 10 stuff, and someone only wants it to be plain, not even seasoned, right? And it gets a little hard, but
yeah. Yeah. So that aside,
try to think about different things, right?
gotta
Oh,
try 'em.
actually, no. Yeah, that aside, let me get back to the reason why I brought up the manager special, the different one every single week or so.
Okay.
I would like more places to have like a customizable your meal, right? This is the user 75 meal, right? Because they probably don't name it after you if you're not a
No.
famous person, but this is user 75's meal, right?
Yeah.
Where it could be something where it's like very weird, right? That put a cookie on the patty and cook it with, the patty, cover it with, I don't know, Sprite, and then sprinkle some fried bits on top of it, flip it over,
So vegetable oil.
do whatever, right? Something that they usually don't do.
So instead of how about I
And
get
that
a
is your dish. That is your thing.
so
Something they would say no to, you could override and say, well, this is my meal. I'm customizing it this way.
instead of like the sesame seed bun on a Big Mac, I can swap that with like a brownie or a cookie.
You could if you wanted to. I mean, I'm sure like there are probably health reasons why like they would be like, oh well, we're not gonna put dish detergent on it because it's not an edible thing, right?
No, it's
But
definitely not.
if
But
if you wanted to have the McDonald's worker open the refrigerator and get the apple slices, cut those up, deep fry them like a fry, apple fries, coat it with like I'm sure they have sugar for their coffees.
or yeah, they
Coat it,
they do the
coat it
little
with
flavor
sugar.
shots.
That'd be great, right? It's kind of like an apple pie, but not. It's
Like
just filling.
literally what it is. But I mean I do, but I think there should be a thing where you can maybe like do a campaign where you, like you were mentioning your thing. I think these places should do a campaign where you can submit what your meal would be, and hey, whatever wins, you can have. Oh, this is Tim's meal or whatever.
Right, yeah.
I
So,
think that would
something
be
like that
great.
would be cool where it's like maybe somebody doesn't have the courage to just create their own wacky random
I
meal, right?
guess, but yeah,
Someone might not have that courage to do it, but they could still be a part of the voting process or whatever, right? And vote, be like, let's see, I like Tim's more than I like Mr. Bob's, right? I like that. So the cookie sandwich with cheese on it doesn't appeal to me as much as the deep fried apple slices.
yeah.
So my vote is for that, right? And then it has a ranking system. So number one is the one that will be added to the slot. And maybe it is like manager special sort of thing where it goes away after a bit, right? It's like, oh, it's only here for 2 weeks. That's cool. But I
Yeah.
like that. I like the ability to have things. And definitely I'm not saying that there's not different things that I would order at these fast food places. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
Because I am a fan of filet of fish. I am a fan of the burgers. I am a fan of the McNuggets. I just don't go to these fast food places a lot. There's a
Yeah.
difference between liking and going. I just don't go a lot.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, I mean, there's gonna be some. I mean, like we had the as a fast food trend. I'm sure we'll have some kind of probably some new crazed food item in the 2030s, and then every fast food place is going to copy that. That's just a fraction of what could possibly happen in the future.
What do you suppose that item could be?
What if we had, I don't know. I mean,
Like,
we had.
realistically, what do you think it could be?
What if we had? What if all of a sudden people like What if they had? What if they had their desserts? They could have some cool Mick rock candy or Mick rainbow pop. But then guess what? Burger King their own King Pop or whatever. I don't know. That's just examples of, hey, this chain releases this, other places are going to copy it.
Yeah, that's obviously an example of it, but I was kind of looking for like a realistic, like, what is the next item, the next thing? In my opinion, I would almost think that they need to get, like, those flash ovens, right? It's like they keep it on 400 degrees every single hour or whatever. They turn it off at the end of the night, but it's always on. I think that appliance is the thing that everywhere is going to use, and there's going to be a focus on flatbread sandwiches, right?
Okay, yeah. This kind of makes me think of another popular kitchen appliance that's been like popping up everywhere, but a lot of households have had this. Air fryers, and we've already seen frozen foods have like put emphasis on, oh, this has been air fried in our factory. What if McDonald's air fries their nuggets, or Popeyes air fries their chickens for their sandwich? Are we going to start seeing restaurants advertising, oh, our products have been air fried?
Yeah, it's possible. And wants to ride the bandwagon of a specific insert equipment here. Honestly, I was thinking that they would just use, their ovens that they, I think, already have for, like, the flatbread sort of idea. They're going to focus on flatbread sandwiches. I think they're going to come back.
I know, yeah. I don't know. Like a pita or something, like pita bread.
Yeah, like just on pita, or maybe on a naan or something.
I don't know.
But
there's like endless possibilities.
Or endless possibilities, It could be they could be making their own pastas and putting sweet and sour sauce on it or something.
Yeah, McDonald's already attempted to make pasta. That did not succeed.
They did?
They did. Yes,
What
they did.
This?
I think it's in these.
They need to try it again because it'd probably be better.
Mixed spaghetti. Oh, mixed spaghetti.
That name is horrendous. So if anything, they need to do something different with that.
And I think it had something to do with the time it took to make it. I mean, actually, select locations currently will sell it, but
select even like today.
I think, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Also,
clear schedule. We're going on a field trip.
Mick Pizza, that was also a thing, but it took long to bake, so that discontinued quickly.
Okay. I think they could do something with the pizza again, though. I think what they need to do is have it be like a pre-order system. Order it intentionally 20 minutes before.
Mm-hmm.
So then you get it 20 minutes when it's ready.
Mm-hmm.
Like McDonald's, like, I guess the fast food sort of industry, one of the things that you go there for is you can order it and walk out in 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how packed the place is, right?
Unless you ask for it to be made fresh, made to order, then yeah, it's gonna take a while.
But like, yeah, that's one of the selling points. You can go in a lot of these, in a
That's
lot of the cases. So the thing about the pre-ordering the pizzas might not be a great idea when it comes to a McDonald's type of place,
hmm
but
um, but also another fact is this was at a time when Domino's wasn't like as big as they are now, but McDonald's did sell more pizzas than them because, well, there obviously were more McDonald's than Domino's, but because they're fast because they order it and then hey, you get it. That's why it didn't catch on.
right, yeah,
But I think they could figure out a way to bring it back.
because at the end of the this would be I'm talking about like McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's sort of pizza idea, right?
Mhm.
There's there would be obviously better fast food places out there for pizza, but it's one of those like if you wanted to have a different thing on the menu in case, let's say you really wanted to go to Burger King, I didn't really want to go, but I didn't want to go anywhere else. Just get, spaghetti from Burger King, something different.
Yeah.
Maybe actually, I almost which is off the list. I think we're going to possibly see some more rice being introduced.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to see that, like in McDonald's, maybe. Here's what I think. They're going to take some facet of the Japanese McDonald's menu and just bring it over here.
Mm-hmm.
Or McDonald's and
Yeah,
involved.
as long as there's demand, I'm sure someone out there will say, "Hey, we want that here."
I genuinely think that's a good reason.
Yeah.
That's a good thing, right? Like, it's already in their company, so they could just their Japanese headquarters. Hey, tell me how to make okonomiyaki. And I don't remember how to do that in a McDonald's setting.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see for that.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about before I wrap this up? No pun intended.
When it comes to fast food, you know what? Yes, there is something. If you would indulge me.
Okay. All right. Spill it out.
Let's talk about and break this down. So, if anything, we would have to improvise like all of this. But did you want to maybe talk like the resurgence, or maybe resurgence isn't the greatest word for it, but the rise and somewhat fall of buffets?
I think after. I hate to keep bringing this topic up because we at least mentioned it a couple times for the episode, but
The big C?
yes, but I think ever since then people are more up them, but they never gone away entirely. But
Obviously still there.
there are buffets that are still around, but people are now more cautious after the whole happened.
Mm. For those of you who don't know, who have the pleasure of not knowing what they are, it's basically how do I want to put it?
Oh, essentially,
It's a bunch of foods that are all lined up in a row that you get to select what you want, and you have to do it at the same time as people who don't respect boundaries, right? So people are always going to step on your feet to get the crab legs, or they're going to punch you in the face because you took their omelet, or the buffets are.
Essentially, it's a self-serve restaurant.
It's a war between all of the different parties to get their rations first, right? It's the war that happened in the mess hall of a military camp.
Yep, that could be another factor as to why buffets are fallen.
I
But
mean, like they were. I say this as a big one, or at least bigger than you. Definitely bigger than you, I think. Still,
okay.
they were kind of nasty, depending on where you went before the big C, right? But definitely afterwards, it's like, I don't know about that. I mean, okay, let's paint a picture. 2010, right?
All right.
I'm 9, maybe 10, depending on the time of year.
Well, 2/3 of the year I was 9. Oh no, 10, yeah, 2/3 of the year I was 9. But okay,
So fine, 8 or 9 then, whatever. Blast my time back a little bit. But it's 2010. We go to a Chinese buffet, or I guess a fusion buffet, if you caught my reference there.
yes.
Yeah. We go to that. We went to that one a lot when it was still there. Sad that it's gone. But,
Wait.
mm,
Is it the of?
it is, just say, the new business that's there is worked for like a year and
Oh, okay.
8
No,
months.
it's not what I was. Okay, it's not the place that I'm thinking of then, right?
No, it probably isn't. You're
'Cause
probably thinking of one that wasn't far away from a Chili's, right?
that Chinese buffet,
That's
I
not
know
the one I was
that's
thinking.
still there.
I was thinking of the one that was
Okay, so
closer
yeah.
to our high school.
Okay, yeah, so that's not there now.
It isn't there because it and the business that was next to it got, closed and purchased and turned into something else. But regardless, from I don't know 2008, 15 or something. I don't remember when it closed down, but a good portion of time we went there because it was close by. It was a buffet, and they had this thing where if you were under 13, you could eat for free. So, you take advantage of things like that, right? Even when I was 14, you'd be like, yes, I'm 13.
You're not gonna look different right after you turn that age.
Oh, I'm 15 now. Still eating free, right?
Yeah, you could literally, we're not condoning any of this, by the way.
I mean, save what you can, but I'll be frowned upon. But honestly, it's not really that frowned upon. You think about it. I mean, they want to make as much money as they can. We could go into the economics, maybe at a later date or whatever. But I could give you a rundown now, though. Like, essentially, the reason why they do the kids eat free sort of things is because the other people make up for it a lot. And at the end of the day, technically the buffet would only cost maybe $10 family, really. But of the, convenience of all of this stuff being prepared, all of it, variety of stuff, right? Because of all of that, they get to tack on, oh, you know what? Actually, it's $20 per head. So now you're spending $100 or whenever most of the stuff was on the cheaper side. That's for buffets for the business side. That's genius. But technically, you could get the same amount of stuff for a lot less. And I'm not even talking about like making it yourself. I'm talking about like going to a place versus the buffet, which is saying, oh, $10 a head or whatever. It's different. Big tank
Anyways,
side, right? Before the big C, we saw like someone, little kid, kind of
Mm-hmm.
scratching their uh,
Yeah.
let's say the cheeks that are not your face, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
And proceeds to touch the ice cream machine nozzle.
Mm.
Not the lever, but where the thing comes out, right?
Okay. Yep. Check, please.
Right? It
Yep.
was, I mean, it was one of those things where it's like, then it's like, oh, but you still went to get the ice cream.
You still did it, but
You went to get the ice cream the next time you went though, because it's like, oh, I'm sure they wiped it down. All the I don't know, the booty germs are gone now, right?
yeah.
It was only like a week. That's fine. It's
Yeah, it's all
I'm
good now, but
thinking
but
about that same thing after a big pandemic, like the big C.
yeah, I'm
That
sure now.
that's weird.
Yeah,
They-
it's
it's nasty now. I mean, it was
yeah, of course.
nasty then,
I mean, it
but
was still
it's like,
nasty, but it's not as big of a. It's still now. It's a bigger deal now.
and that's because the perception of, oh, geez, germs now really matter.
Yeah, of course.
Uh,
But
what do you
yeah,
think about buffets? You ever go there? You ever have funny,
I've
funny
um
memories, sad memories?
I've been to this. Okay, so I did go to a local Chinese buffet. Like I've gone there numerous times, and so, like, every now and then we'll go there. But I like the food.
Right, but
Yeah. Okay, and then I went on like a vacation for Christmas 6 years ago, and I went to a Golden Corral.
yeah, that's for those of you who don't know, not Chinese buffet. It's more, I guess, American food, if you
And
can
I
say that.
yeah, I did get a yep, I got a bean burrito there.
Yeah, not a sausage, egg, and cheese one here.
Nope, not. But I have really nothing to complain about the buffets, at least based on my experience. But looking at what's going on now, I gotta question it. But there's got to be some quality standard. Like, there's a reason why the inspector goes to these places.
Yeah,
It has to be a certain.
but the only, I guess, question is if they just purposely stage it so it's like, oh, it definitely passes the standards today, but 364 other days it's not going to because we don't give a crap because
I mean, I don't doubt that would happen.
like, oh, the cockroaches only matter whenever into this establishment. On the other time, the cockroaches are just a nice little crunch to your meal.
Yeah, hey, it still chirps too. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'd still go to one, but I'd still kind of be like hesitant now because there's
yeah,
that stigma of germs matter.
yeah. Of course, they mattered back then. They matter now.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah. Well, I would say the food that you ordered that was just made. The same can be said for this episode. It looks like we can wrap it up and give it away.
yeah, to go. Huh?
Yeah, of course. Um, all I can say is thank you for stopping by. We hope to see you again. But before you take your meal, would you like to fill a survey to like and subscribe? And also, you get a nice deal to click the notification bell. It's 30% off. That way you never miss any content of ours. But if you decide you don't want that and full meal, then get the full meal. But well, all I can say is have a nice and come back again soon.